Hi again. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me talk about my healing sessions, the testimonials that I receive from my clients. I'm so grateful for each and every one of them for sharing, because many times people don't want to share because they feel like I'm too busy. But that's what gives me the knowingness that what's happening is real and that God is working through me as his instrument to perform these healing miracles. So I'm just going to share with you a few, and hopefully you're tuning into my other ones that I have shared. But I figured it's much easier to share these live and voice them than to have to write another book. And as you can see in the background, my Proof of Miracle book is there. It talks about how I became a healer, how I became a medium, my journey of my 3 NDEs, and the stories written by clients that have had their own experience of having a healing or reading with me. Now, what I want to say is there's a lot of people right now that are struggling with this COVID time and family, friends being in the hospital. I do, on my Facebook page, I do have a Facebook prayer page. So if you go to my website at www.goldenmiracles.com, you can access my Facebook page and then get onto the prayer page where you can request a prayer for anyone, for any reasons, big or small, that I will read and place them in my healing prayers. With that said, I've received many emails from people that have, a loved one in the hospital where they can't be with them. They can't feel them. They can't speak to them. They can't have a connection with them. Some are in comas, but because of COVID, they can't go, say their final goodbyes. So I've done sessions for people that are in the hospitals and allow them to have that connection with one another in their sessions and their healings, where they both can feel and know that they are making a connection, a distant connection, a love connection that gives them both peace. So I just say that to let you know what's available to you. So here's some that I'm going to share with you today. One is this person was from a distant group healing session. So a distant group healing session is people that join remotely around the world with the same intention that we're going to heal. We're going to gather with our intentions of receiving a miracle. And I feel that the more they gather, it's like prayer, the power of prayer, it becomes heightened. And so we're all gathering as one in the session here and now. Now, when the words come through in a distant session, the words aren't individualized like they are in a healing session. But I always say, own them as they're yours, as God forms each and every one of these sessions. So many things are similar, but never deny something thinking, oh, it was for somebody else, because it could be something meant for you that's going to be for your future. So this one was a distant group. And she says, thank you for the amazing healing session in both of them. So she'd come to both group sessions. I felt a lot of movement, pressure and pain, although tolerable pain in my right intestines and liver throughout both of my sessions. The messages that came through for me were right on and meaningful to me. So isn't that amazing? She's in a group session, she's listening to the words, and those words she felt were sent individually for her. And that's beautiful. And the fact that she wanted to come to more than one. Sometimes in one session, you might receive balance or emotional healing and physical, but you still need a little bit more physical or more energy, or you're dealing with something new. So then you can join again. That's what's beautiful about the group ones, is you can join as many times as you wish. They renew, restore, rebalance. It's a great thing that I welcome everyone to do. So that was for the distant group. This one, let's see. This was a private session. And she says, I didn't feel too much during this session, except for like stuff was moving on my right side of my abdomen. It was not painful, but I could definitely feel the movement. And it correlated with what you were saying in the session. She's been having pains in her neck, the top right side of her tooth pain, jaw feeling tight, and everything made sense to her that was being said. I also mentioned left temple quite a bit, and every time I get a headache, that's right where that location is. During the visualization with God, you sensed a small boy hugging my leg. That was spot on. I had seen him at the age between 3 and 5, and she validated that she did lose her child at the age of 5. And I mentioned that the son was talking about this necklace that she was wearing, and she validated, and he was saying, thank you for wearing the necklace to honor me. And she said that his thumbprint was on the necklace. So she knew that they definitely did have a connection, and that she didn't expect to have a connection with her son, as she didn't ask for a healing reading. She was just asking for a healing. But with God, felt that she needed a healing in many areas of hurt in her heart, grief, pain, and to bring this child through to help her heal in those areas is what was necessary. So without me knowing that she wanted that, she was given this. And that was so beautiful to hear that, because, you know, here comes this child, and I didn't know if she lost a child. I didn't know if this was a child that, you know, was a family member child, or who this was, but this boy did hug her leg and call her mom. So it was something that was very profound. But then to hear it afterwards and how it all played out, I could see why God had the little boy come, because it was a huge part of her healing that she needed to heal the other issues in her body. So here's another one. There's no words to express my gratitude. The healing session was amazing. I will be in gratitude always. Those are just like words that I just give gratitude. I go in prayer and say, thank you for this. Thank you for the healings. Thank you for the people that you continue to send to me, as I believe that Spirit guides each and every one of you to you and forms these circles and forms these sessions. And I'm just so beyond grateful for it that I cried with gratitude, with joy. She says that in her session, I touched on guilt, heartache, lack of balance in herself and in her life, and that we talked about fear and not faith. And those are all things that she was dealing with and going through. So God knew exactly what to bring her. She's had health issues with her thyroid, her heart, her feet, her hormones, as well as great emotional issues, sadness, and much loss in her life. All these issues were being healed during the session. It was truly amazing. And that's what is so amazing about this whole thing, is since I know nothing, and then I'm able to describe everything and send it to you, and you listen to it and go, that's when you go, oh, wow, how did that happen? How could she have known all of this? And that's when we know that it comes from the divine, a higher source for us right here. And that's when we give gratitude to God for what transpired. Another thing is she said she'll listen to her session many times over and over and over to soak it all in, because the love that she felt was something that was undescribable, but she wants to feel more and more. So she'll listen to the words, and she feels connected to that energy every time she feels it and listens to it. So that's what's beautiful about the healings as well, is you can listen to it as many times as you want, and it holds that frequency, it holds that vibration for you to continue to feel and have. It's like having the healing for the first time. I'll say, oh my gosh, like you might hear one thing one time, but you listen to it again, and all of a sudden something else appears, and you go, I didn't hear that the first time. So it's kind of like it just keeps giving. So dogs are another one. Pets are another one. I find it very interesting. I did a session for this lovely dog, and what was so beautiful is this poor dog was having the same issues its master was. So it was holding issues for the master. So what was said to the dog is, you don't need to hold those. You don't need to take those on. This wasn't your part of your journey. And for me to see he had eye issues and film over his eyes, for me to be able to express exactly what he was going through, then the owner knew for a fact that it was so detailed that I wouldn't have known that. But then it also healed the owner as well as the dog, if that makes sense to you. Sometimes I try to express everything that happens, but it can be so hard because there's so much that happens in one session that I can't explain everything, because we're going to touch on emotional, physical, spiritual. We're going to do spiritual journeys. We may touch with a loved one. So I'm going to be feeling, I'm going to be hearing, I'm going to be taking you on journeys. I'm going to have loved ones come to the room. I'll have spiritual surgeons. I'm going to be tasting medicine. And I'm describing all of this all at once, of what's transpiring. So there's a lot that takes place in each session. But I am so grateful for each and every one of them. And not one is the same. So when I go into a session, I'm like, all right, what are you going to bring me today, God? What are we going to see? And healings can be really difficult on me. I have to stay balanced. I have to get good sleep. I have to eat healthy. I have to exercise, because they take a lot of energy from me. And so I have to rebuild that energy. And so what I'll find at times is I'll be sleeping and I can't wake up that morning. I'm like, oh, I have lots to do this morning before the session. And they're like, nope, you need to sleep. And I won't be able to move, just like other people won't be able to move in a session. Like if they feel like they've received medicine, sedation, they might describe, oh my gosh, I felt like I couldn't move. I felt like it was heavy on the bed. That's what will happen to me. And I just know, oh, this is going to be a really difficult session today. And God is telling me, sleep, get your rest, because if you get your rest, then we're giving you more energy during this time that you're going to need for this session. So I never know what each and every day is going to bring us, to me, to them, and I'm sure you feel that way as well. Each day is a gift, and we need to use it wisely, don't we? So this session, she said she started to feel nauseous and shaky right from the beginning. She noticed the time and she said, oh my gosh, I have to hurry up and go close my eyes. The session's going to begin. And so my session had already started, and she was feeling the medicine that was going in to sedate her before she even laid down in the bed. And she was like, oh my gosh, I became nauseous and shaky and I had to go lay down. Well, that's because she was being administered medicine on my end to relax her. And if she wouldn't have been relaxing, she would feel dizzy and shaky. Is that profound? So when she finally did lay down, she said she became very emotional and she was crying really hard. She wasn't sure why, but she knew that at the time she needed to let it go. And I say that if you need to cry, tears are a form of releasing of something that we might be holding within us. So as she stayed laying down, she closed her eyes and then she started to feel calm. She saw this swirling white light coming down, moving towards her as her eyes were still closed. It startled her and it made her jump. She thought to herself, Debra has started. Can this be real? What's interesting is when she turns the recording on and listens, then I start with this swirling white light. And I say, imagine this white light coming down from heaven and going right into your solar plexus, which is your belly button. It's going to hold you there in this light and love here in this healing room. So she was seeing it and feeling it already and going, whoa, this is powerful. This is profound. And that's amazing. So then she continues, as you're describing your symptoms, because now she's listening to this, I was amazed with the things you were describing were actually my problems. Not vague, but very general things. I have terrible digestion, intestinal problems. I'm off balance all the time. I'm leaning to the right, ringing my ears, headaches, head, ear, sinus pressure, sore throats. Every day, very stiff, sore neck, lower back, feet, knees. I know I sound like a hypochondriac, but it's true. I couldn't believe you were describing all of these things. Can you believe it? Everything came through. As a little girl, I suffered with terrible earaches, and as an adult, my ears always feel full. So she goes on that she feels very bad that I had to suffer so much pain for her session. But what's beautiful with that is I do take on the pain, but that's a gift God gives me for when I feel it, then I don't deny it. But when the sessions is over, it's no longer a part of me. So I never want people to feel bad for what I went through, and just know it had to transform. God's one orchestrating it and making me feel this way. So she said at the end of her session, she was very tired and she went to bed early and nearly slept 9 hours, a deep, deep sleep, very unusual for me at this stage of my life. Her neck feels a bit better. She can turn her head a bit easier in either direction. She's been crying a bit the following day. Her sinuses are plugged up, but I think my ears do feel better. I'm not feeling quite full in my ears, and the ringing isn't as loud. And guess what? My sore throat is gone. I've always had a sore throat, but not today. My stomach still hurts, but I'm hopeful it will get better soon. So I'm going to listen to my recording when and I feel the need. I can sit and pray every day as you told me, and as I should be doing anyway. I'm grateful to God and know that He is always with me. So what's beautiful with this session is she had a sore throat that I didn't know that she had all her life. And she every day she'd wake up with it. But the following day after the healing session, it went away. Whoa, how miraculous is that? And it gives her hope then. Hope is something we never want to lose. It gave her hope to know, like, well, if that could heal, then all the other things that were touched on within me, even though they didn't heal immediately, that they will heal in time. And so that I just need to stay in faith, listen to the recording as often as I want, and just trust the process, because this is a healing process and she'll do her part, just like I just did mine and the surgeons did theirs and God did his. So we all play a role in our own healing process, but it's to stay connected, to know that you're not alone, to never lose hope, because when we start to lose hope, we start to lose the reason to be here or our purpose. And don't lose the hope, because everything's possible with God. And that's what I'm here to share with you with these sessions that I'm speaking about and sharing and voicing, is because I'm touched by them. And some may seem so small, but they're so big for those people. And some are miraculous, where it's like cancer cured, stomach cancer cured, brain cancer cured. The list goes on and on. And so I am grateful for the work that I do, and I'm grateful for you for tuning in. So if you have any questions or you want to know more about me, you can visit my website at www.goldenmiracles.com. On my website, you can sign up for my newsletters. I would love you to be on my newsletters, and you can see what I'm doing and what events are coming up. I also, on my website, you can join my Facebook page where you can read more testimonials. I'll have those posted as well. And just to stay connected, it's nice for me to be able to see you. You get to see me, and if you become my Facebook friend, I get to see you and say hello. The other thing that's free to you is on my Facebook is my podcasts. They're called Spirit Chat. And Valerie co-hosts this with me, and they're uplifting conversations where spirit guides us to the topic. And then they guide us through, excuse me, I start burping when I can feel the energy changing and shifting in the room as I'm speaking about spirit. Whew. Wow. So anyway, they like to talk through us and give us visions, words to express what they feel that you could benefit from. So please join us in our spirit chats, and please join me for more of these proof of miracles and validations of what comes through in these healing sessions. And, you know, the reason I share this is because it's not for me to say, look at me, at what everything's going to, but to give validation to God for the proof that of the work that He is doing. For God, the source, the universe, whatever you may call Him, is let's give proof to what is still happening. And I'm sure there's other mediums and healers that are healing the same. So I'm just trying to give credit to where it needs to go to. So with that, I say thank you for tuning in, and I will look forward to speaking with you more. Thank you.